Alright, this is gonna be part 7 to What If Deku Became a Kaiju. So let's get into it.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Alright, it's been a while since I've done a part to this series. It's literally been like 4 months. Yeah, it's been a while, and this is my most popular series on my channel. So, I wanted to do another part to this because, it's my most popular series, and people really like it. Well, it's my second most popular series, I guess, because, the most popular video on my channel is what if Deku became a demon, and I might be doing another part to that because season 5 is almost coming out. It's coming out, I think, in like 9 days. So I might do a part 3 to that. And, I might do that next week or another week, who knows, but just look out for that part. So anyways, let's continue with this story. So where I last left off, it was Deku just returned, went back into the ocean because, he wanted to see, they've been getting signals about, the big kaiju, so Deku went back to check it out. He almost died, but yeah. And Deku didn't have an internship, so Ida did die, because if Todoroki wasn't there was only there because Deku sent his location, and since Deku wasn't there, neither was Todoroki. So Ida's dead. But yeah. So so I'm gonna just time skip, and they're back in class. And Aizawa would walk in and he would start explaining that they're gonna have a final test. And they're all they're a little excited, or no, they're not excited. They're really sad because they have to take another test. It's their final, so they know it's gonna be hard. But Aizawa would explain it a little bit, but he doesn't give every detail. And it's lunchtime. Deku and the rest of his class, they're out sitting, and they start discussing about what kind of test they're gonna have. Kendo from class 1B would say that they're probably gonna be doing a robot test because she asked one of her friends that's in a grade above them, and they said that they did a robot test. So Kendo figured that we're gonna be probably doing a robot test as well. And so everyone gets excited. Sorry for that long pause, but everyone gets excited because if it's robots, it's gonna be easy because so a little time has passed. Everyone's suited up. Wait, did I even explain what Deku's hero costume was? I don't think I did, but yeah, I never explained his hero costume. Wow. I don't know what costume I should give him. I'll just give him the same costume like in canon. But I'm gonna just say I'm gonna just say it's the same costume from canon. So, Deku and Bakugo would be paired up with All Might, and Bakugo is pretty happy about this because he has something up his sleeve because like he's been training really hard, and I'm gonna get to that later. And Deku really doesn't really like he gets a little nervous, but he deals with it, and everyone's test starts, and Deku and All Might or Deku and Bakugo would walk in. They're trying to think of a strategy, but Bakugo, like being Bakugo, he doesn't listen and he just tells Deku to shut up and don't get in his way. And Deku says we need to come up with a plan, and Bakugo says I already have a plan. It's to beat him up, just take him down. It's that simple. And Deku says like it's not that simple. He's the number one hero. And Bakugo says, so I'm gonna become the number one hero. So what does that matter? And, they get interrupted by a giant gust of wind. Like in canon, they get pushed back. And Bakugo gets a smirk. Like he's ready to fight. All Might appears and he says, all right, heroes. I may be the number one hero, but right now I am a villain. And you must bring me to justice. And Bakugo gets a smirk, and he shoots an explosion to propel himself forward, and it's a really big explosion. It's nothing like as Deku's ever seen. And Bakugo just goes for the attack. Bakugo starts throwing explosions, and All Might is kind of getting like blinded by them because his explosions are a lot bigger, and he can also kind of see kind of like electricity coming off of them as well. And Deku says like, what is that? But Deku doesn't think about it too much, so he just rushes in and goes for the attack as well. While All Might is blinded, All Might or Deku would go for a punch to the chest. And this would send All Might flying back. Bakugo says like, I told you not to get in my way, and Deku says we're a team, and Deku gets grabbed by the face, and he literally gets thrown towards Bakugo, and they both crash to the ground because they get back up, and Bakugo says like, all right, like just don't get in my way, I told you that. Deku says we're a team, we have to work together. And Bakugo says I don't work with weaklings like you. And they don't. Deku was home. He lived on his own in the forest, so they don't have a. Bakugo doesn't really know him, nor does he care about him. But yeah. And if you're wondering why he has like sparks coming off of his explosions, it's because he has one for all. Yeah, I decided to give him one for all because I don't really talk about one for all in my what ifs. Because usually my what ifs, like Deku has a power that is a lot stronger than one for all, and I never really talk about it, and I don't give it to anyone. So I decided to change that for this. So, and I'm sorry, it's been a while, and I don't think I gave it to anyone. No, I never gave it to Mirio. So I'm trying to think if that's right or not. Cause no, I never gave it to Mirio. And if I did, I'm sorry. I'm gonna retcon that. But yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna work on that Mirio. Like, if I did say Mirio or anyone else had one for all, I'm gonna take that back. But, Bakugo has one for all. And, Bakugo, his entire body starts to basically get, he's basically using his own version of full cowling, which is, I'm gonna just say, burst. I don't know what to call it, but it's basically full cowling for Bakugo. And he powers up his explosions become more powerful. and yeah. So they both charge at All Might, and All Might gets like a barrage of punches and explosions. Deku knows how to kick as well, so he throws a few kicks in there as well. All Might doesn't really know what to do because, and like he's getting attacked from two different angles. One from like above a Bakugo and one from below from Deku. So Deku's not he's holding back. No, no, I'm gonna say he's holding back because like I said that Deku has the same abilities as his kaiju form, just a lot weaker. But since his kaiju form is getting a lot stronger, so is Deku. So it's almost getting to the point that Deku has to hold back with his punches. So he doesn't go all out, but he's using most of his power that he can use in his human form. But yeah, All Might just kind of does like a thunderclap, if like how Hulk does, like when he makes he claps and makes a shockwave. I want to say that All Might does the same thing. He claps and like it blows Deku and Bakugo back, and All Might just charges at both of them. Deku gets punched back, and Bakugo gets thrown into a building, and Deku rushes towards All Might, and All Might rushes towards him. They collide in the middle, making a shockwave. Their punches keep colliding with each other. Bakugo gets back up and he says like, "I'm not done yet, All Might." He goes for, I would say he does AP shot, because I'm gonna say that he does know how to use that, and his AP shots are a lot more powerful. And yeah, his AP shots do more damage, and All Might's basically getting overwhelmed. Cause I would say that Bakugo can use about 40% of One for All. That's kind of a lot, but I want to make him powerful. So yeah, Bakugo and Deku are attacking All Might, and All Might, I will say he doesn't have his weights on, so he's at full power. He's not being slowed down. So he figures that he's debating if he should use his United States of Smash, or at least do a Detroit Smash, like like a plus ultra, I guess a plus ultra Detroit Smash. And he's debating if he should, like he knows that Bakugo is his successor, but he also knows that Deku is his kaiju number 8. Like he knows that both of them are extremely powerful, but he doesn't know if they would be able to take an attack like that. So he does do a Detroit Smash to like stop them from attacking him, and but not a full power one. And Bakugo gets punched, and he gets sent through like a building. Deku goes for an attack, but All Might dodges it and grabs Deku's arm, and like kind of like does what he slams Deku to the ground, making like a little crater. Bakugo gets back up and he charges at All Might, but All Might just grabs his face, and Bakugo does the same thing he does like in canon. He just makes a bunch of explosions, and they're doing more effect than in canon, but it's not doing enough. And Bakugo gets his head slammed into the ground. Deku would go for a punch, but All Might would dodge it and just hit Deku in the face. Like I would say he punches Deku in the face, and he gets dazed. like a little bit, and so does Bakugo. And since their vision is like blurry, they can't really see. And this is when like All Might just starts beating on them. Like he's basically like ragdolling both of them. He grabs Deku by the leg and just slams him onto the ground. Again, yeah, like how Hulk does to Loki in the Avengers movie, he does that the same to Deku. And he just throws him all the way back to like where the starting gate is. And Bakugo gets up, but All Might's like there to knee him in the face, and he gets sent back all the way as well. Not all the way as far as Deku, but he would still get sent flying back. And Deku would meet up with Bakugo, and Deku would say, "We need to come up with a plan." Bakugo would say, like, "Why? We're fine. I'm fine on my own doing this. If you want to run and hide, you can do that, but I'm gonna face him head on." And Deku would say, we have to act like real heroes here. We have to work together." And Bakugo is hesitant, but he agrees, and he says like, "All right, what do you want to do?" And Deku would say, "I'll distract him while you come up from behind." Wait, no, yeah, he comes up from behind, and you charge an attack, your biggest attack that you got. And Bakugo would say, "All right." So Bakugo would blast off to hide behind like the buildings, and Deku would rush towards All Might, and All Might would get ready. He would start colliding with Deku, punch after punch. Deku's getting hit, All Might's getting hit. Deku's absorbing the punches as well, and he releases not all of his kinetic energy, but some of his energy to knock All Might down off his feet, and All Might's like laying in the streets, and Deku says, "Bakugo now," and Bakugo does his howitzer impact, but since he has one for all, it's gonna be, I would say, 3 times the size of his regular one. Since he has one for all, and it makes a massive explosion, pushing Deku back, but Deku manages to get on his feet. All Might's there lying. He wants to get up, but he just can't. He's almost about to pass out. And, he actually does pass out. And I would say Nezu's like watching like the cameras, and he just says that Bakugo and Deku have passed the test. And, they like walk out of there. All Might gets dragged to Recover Girls. He just goes to Recover a Girl. And yeah. So the tests, like, everyone would like pass. I must say that All Might, after he's done recovering, he would ask Deku to meet him like in private, and Deku agrees, and they go to like the same like little room that they always go to, like that little private room where All Might told this Deku like the secret of One for All in canon. Like, they're in that room, and Bakugo's there as well. And when Deku walks in, he sees All Might and Bakugo, and he says like, "All right, All Might, I'm here." And he says, "Perfect, sit down, please." And Deku sits down. Bakugo sits down next to Deku, but he's like on the opposite side of the couch. And All Might would explain that Bakugo, or he would start explaining his quirk. Wait, no, I think no. Deku knows about One for All. Yeah, he does know about. Yeah, because All Might tried to give him his one for all. I think. I'm sorry, but I'll just say that Deku knows about one for all. Yeah, he does know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I never said that he. I never said that he did one for all. I'm just gonna say he does. But yeah, he. All Might just tells Deku that he passed on one for all to Bakugo, and he looks at Bakugo and he would say like, "Oh, is that why your explosions were had like all like that energy coming off of them?" And Bakugo would say, "Yeah." All Might would start explaining that to Bakugo that Deku was his original choice for one for all. And he just says, "What?" And Deku says, "Yeah, but I turned it down." And Bakugo would say like, "Why would you do that?" And Deku says he doesn't want to say. And no, should I reveal to should Deku reveal to Bakugo that he's a kaiju? I don't know. I'm just trying to think if he should. Yeah, I'm just say that. Yeah, I'm just say that he does. So Deku would when Bakugo asks Deku like, why did he turn it down? But Deku looks at All Might, and All Might nods, and Deku says like I'll show you. And they go outside, and I'm just say that it's like close to like it's evening, so like the sun is coming down, and Deku, yeah, Deku's like coming, like the sun's coming down. Deku, All Might, and Bakugo are outside of UA, and Deku would say like, "This is why I turned it down," and he just transforms into his kaiju form. And basically, if you want to know how he looks like, he basically looks like the kaiju in the thumbnail, just with like a snout and like a long tail. He's kind of like Godzilla if you think about it, but with like more of like a humanoid figure. Yeah, that's kind of what he looks like. And Baku would say like, you're kaiju number 8, and I could say, "Yeah, I am." And Baku would say like, "Why haven't you told anyone about this?" And Deku would say, "I have. I told All Might, and I told Nezu and a few other people, but that's besides the point. This is why I turned down one for all." Yeah, sorry about that. He explains that this is why he turned one for all down, and he felt that someone else needed it more than he did. And Bakugo was All Might's second choice. So yeah, Bakugo kind of looks mad, but then he like loses he loses that face that he does like when he's like irritated. He just gets like a straight face and he says, "All right, I'm still gonna become the number one hero, even if even if you're a kaiju." And Deku would say, "Yeah, all right," and this would become like a little rivalry of them, like in canon. But yeah, All Might would say like, "All right, that's really all. That's really all. I wanted to tell you, Midoriya. So you can leave. Bakugo, you must stay. We have to train." And Bakugo would say, "All right." Deku would say like, "All right, later, All Might. Like later, Bakugo." So he returns home, and he sits down in his on his bed, and he just thinks of if he actually got one for all, how more powerful he would be. But then he says like he doesn't need it. He doesn't need one for all. He already has his power, and he doesn't need it. Yeah, he just sorry. So, the next morning he goes to school. Aizawa would say that they're going to a training camp, and everyone gets excited, and then Aizawa would tell them that the people that didn't pass are not going, and everyone. I think I said that everyone passed, but the same people failed. They failed here, like they failed in the anime, so yeah, but they're still gonna go, like in canon. So they go on the bus, on Bakugo. I would say Bakugo and Deku are sitting next to each other, and they're just talking about random stuff. And Todoroki's sitting in front of them, and he's like, I would say um, he's sitting with Todoroki's sitting with Ida. Yeah, there we go. Why not? And they're in the back. They're not in the front. So yeah, they're just talking about random stuff, and Todoroki's kind of eavesdropping on both of them because you know they were able to take down both of them were able to take down All Might, the number one hero, and so he's just curious of how they got that strong. And yeah, so they're not saying anything about One for All or anything like that because you know they don't want anyone to know the secret. So um so they arrive. They arrive at like that little cliff edge. Then they would meet the Wild Pussycats. The um Pixie Bob, I think that's her name. Like the one who can control Earth, I guess you could say. So like she makes like a little like a little tidal wave of mud, I guess. A landslide. Yeah, a landslide. To push the class 1A down the cliff, like in canon. And then Mandalay would tell them that they have all day to reach the camp, and she points all the way at the end of the forest, and she also tells them, or she doesn't tell them about the monsters, but yeah. They're walking in the forest, or they're running, and then they stumble upon like the forest monsters, but it's just Pixie Bob controlling them. So they start destroying them. Deku starts like punching, kicking them. Bakugo just throws explosions with One for All, with a little bit of One for All. And Bakugo and Deku are the ones like really like far ahead from everyone. Bakugo is just like flying. He's just above the forest and he's just flying. He doesn't really want to deal with the monsters. Deku's taking them down, but I would say that he can't fly, but he can jump really far away, so he jumps really far, and then Bakugo would see this, so he just starts propelling himself faster and faster. And Aizawa and the rest of and Pixie Bob, Mandalay, I think Kota was there. No, Kota wasn't there, is it? So it was just them three. They see Bakugo and Deku just like popping in and out of the forest. Well, Deku is, and Bakugo is just flying. And Mandalay would say like those two are really far ahead, and Aizawa would say yeah, they're both of them are the strongest in the class. And Mandalay would say really, and Aizawa would say yeah. More Midoriya is a little bit stronger than Bakugo, but Bakugo is definitely up there next to him. And Mandalay would say, oh wow, you have some powerful students. And Aizawa would say, yeah, but they're all They all can get annoying sometimes. So Deku and Bakugo get there really early, a lot earlier than in canon, and I would say everyone else arrives there like in canon like the same time. Deku and Bakugo, they were making like everyone food for when they arrived, and once they do, Pixie Bob would tell everyone else that it's time to eat and they have to make their own food. And everyone else would get like sad, but then Bakugo and Deku would say like, no, like it's alright that we made food for you guys. And everyone would rush towards them and just start eating. So yeah. Um, it's getting close to nighttime, or no, I would say that it's like it's like the next day and like they're training. Yeah, everyone's training. Bakugo is not doing his usual training. He's just trying to learn how to use more percentages of one for all. And he's training with Deku because, he can. And he asked Aizawa and the Pussycats if they could train really far away because, like, they don't want to injure anyone. And they just agreed, and they just told them to get back before nightfall. So yeah, they run off, and Deku is able to transform into his Kaiju form. And, Bakugo is able to go all out. And, they're sparring. Bakugo would throw explosions. Deku would be dodging them or just countering them with, like a... I don't know. He would just be countering them with something. I don't... And since Bakugo's only enhancing his explosions, he's not really, like, using it how Deku does. Like, he doesn't spread it around his body. He just uses it to enhance his quirk. And once they're done, like, sparring, Deku would tell him that he should start using One For All, not just as, like, a quirk booster, but just to enhance his body overall. Bakugo would say, like, but how would I do that? Deku would say, just try to focus and try to imagine all the energy flowing around your body. Yes, your attacks won't be as powerful, but they'll still be more. They'll be this. You'll be able to. They'll be more effective. They'll be more precise, I guess, and your body would be enhanced as well, so you'll be able to move a lot faster. And so Bakugo would do his own version of full cowling, and I would say he won't use shoot style. Or I don't think Bakugo would be is like the type of person that he uses legs, but I'm gonna say, but he would still learn how to use them, but not in like kind of like an MMA style. Like he able to like use like throw punches and kicks and all that. So yeah. So they'll be sparring and it will be close to nightfall, like the sun is setting. And Deku says like we have to go back. It's getting dark. And Bakugo would say, alright. So Deku de-transforms and both of them just head off. And, once they're done, like, they would do, like, what was it, the test of courage? Yeah. So, Deku, or no, let me backtrack a little bit. As they were making their way back to, like, the camp, Deku would see Kota on top of, or would see a little kid. And he would recognize as that little kid from where next to Mandalay. And he would say like, Bakugo, go ahead. I'm gonna see what's Kota doing. Or no, he would just say like, I'm just gonna see what he's doing. And Bakugo would say like, all right. So Deku jumps on to like the cliffside. Um, Kota gets a little frightened, and Deku say like, "Oh, I didn't mean to scare you." And Kota would look away, and Deku would say like, "What's wrong? You seem angry." And Kota would say, "I'm not angry. I'm only like this because I don't want to be around someone who wants to be a hero or a wannabe hero." And Deku would say like, "That's a little harsh." And Kota say, "Yeah, whatever. Like being a hero is a waste of time. They're just risking their lives for nothing." And Deku would realize that something happened to Kota in his past that he doesn't want to talk about. Like he doesn't push Kota to like tell him about it, but he just wants to know why he's like this. So, Deku sits down next to him and he says like I bet something happened to you when you were younger. Kota like looks down and Deku say, "It's okay. You don't have to tell me, but I'm guessing that whatever happened to you made you like this, made you hate heroes." And Kota would say, "Yeah, my parents were heroes." And Deku would say, "Were they now? What were they called? What were their hero names?" And Kota would say that they were the water hose heroes or whatever they were called. But they were like these heroes that had water quirks. And Deku would realize because like he's encountered them like a few times when he was like barely when he was pretty young, like still new to the kaiju power. He ran into them a few times. But yeah, Deku would realize that his parents and Kota would tell him that his parents died saved by a villain and they try to save someone, but they ended up dying. And Deku, he knows how it feels to lose his parents because his mother saved him from when there was a kaiju attack happen. His Inko shielded him from the impact from like a giant piece of rubble. So he definitely knows how it feels to lose a loved one. And he tells Kota that it's okay. He's been through the same thing. It's hard, but you'll get over it. And Kota would say, "You really think so?" And Deku would say, "Yeah, I know so." Deku looks back and he would realize that it's actually getting pretty late. So he says, "Hey, why don't we head back to the camp?" Kota would say, "Alright." So Deku would carry Kota back to the camp. And yeah, he would arrive. Deku would make it just in time before Aizawa got mad. And no, I'm gonna say Aizawa got a little mad at him because he told him to get here before nightfall, and he got here a little late. So Deku apologizes, and he told him that he ran across Kota all the way over there in the forest, and he would say, or whatever, just don't do that again. And Deku would say, "Yeah, sorry, sir," or "Sorry, sensei." So, everyone else, they would eat a little bit, and then and it's actually a nighttime. And the Action Vanguard Squad, yeah, I think that's their name, or like the new League of Villains, would show up, and then they would start making their plan and whatever. Mandalay would tell them that, well, tell the class the class that they're going to be doing a test of courage, and they're going to be partnered up in groups. And, you know, um, Bakugo and Deku would be paired up, and Mineta would be the one that's left out. Because, like, instead of Deku that was left out, it's Mineta. Or did I? No, I didn't. I never expelled Mineta, unless I did. No, no one gets left out just to make sure, because I don't remember if I did expel Mineta. But yeah. So, Baku and Deku would get paired up, and everyone else would get paired up. And then one group at a time would like walk into the forest, and then eventually it would be Deku and Bakugo's turn. They're walking, and then they would get jump scared. They wouldn't like react. They would react, but they wouldn't like scream. Like they would flinch. I guess you can say that. Yeah, they would flinch. And then they would see smoke in the air, and Deku would say like, "Why is there smoke?" And Baku would launch himself into the air with his explosions, and he would see that there's a wall of blue fire. And he would tell Deku, he would say like, or Midoriya, or he would no, just say he just call him Deku. Yeah, just for plot convenience, he just says like, Deku, there's a wall of fire over there. He would say what, and he would jump up, and he would see it, and he would say, we have to warn the others. And Baku would say like, all right, I'll warn everyone else in the camp while you tell everyone here. And Deku would say, all right. So Baku would make his way back to the camp, and Deku would just start using he would start running around telling everyone to like get back into the camp. But then he would start to see like purple like mist around him. He would not he Then he would see a couple people like drop dead to the floor, and he just covers his mouth to not breathe. And he would say that this poison or this gas is it makes people sleep. So he runs into Momo, and she makes gas masks for everyone else. Deku puts it on, and he tells Momo to go back to the camp and just warn anyone else that you come across. And she does that. Everyone else who was with her, like, they follow her back to the camp. And Deku would remember that Kota is probably up there with Muscular. Or no, he would just remember that Kota likes to. Kota told him that he likes going up to like the little cliff. He says it's like his little hideout. He likes going up there, so he runs towards the little cliff, and as he gets there, he sees someone like this Muscular about to attack Kota, but Deku would counter his punch with his punch, and Muscular gets sent flying back into like the cliffside. And Muscular said, "Oh, who are you? Like, have you seen someone called?" No, I'm gonna say, instead of Tokoyami and Bakugo, or instead of Tokoyami, it's gonna be Deku that is wanted as well. Him and Bakugo are the ones that they're after. And Muscular would say, "Yo, you're one of the people that we're after." Deku would say, "What?" And Muscular would say, "Yeah, we're gonna take you." But he just starts attacking Deku, and Deku's dodging the attacks. He's carrying Kota because he doesn't want Kota to get attacked as well. And doesn't know what to do because he starts kicking Muscular, but Muscular keeps like using his like quirk to like kind of like block his attacks. And Deku says like I have to go out. I have to use more of my power, but I can't because I have Kota, and I don't want him to get injured. So Deku is just using his legs, and he's just trying to use as much power as he can without like hurting Kota, but doing enough damage to actually hurt Muscular, which is it's doing something, but it's not strong enough to take Muscular down. So yeah, Deku or Muscular go when punch Deku in the back, and Deku gets sent flying towards like like flies off the cliff, or yeah, he's like off the he gets punched off the cliff and he lands in like some trees, and then he would actually like Baku would actually see him, and he would say, Deku, are you alright? And Deku says like, yeah, but there's a villain up there, like, here, take Kota. And he hands Kota to Baku, and he would say like, take him, I have to deal with this villain. And he would say like, all right. So he grabs Kota and he flies away towards the camp. Deku gets back up. He says, all right, now I can go as all out. So he jumps back onto the cliff. Muscular is there. He was like charging up an attack. And Muscular releases. He goes for the attack, but Deku gets punched in the chest. And this actually like breaks his entire rib cage, but he would heal up. Like he would heal, but it would take a little bit of time, so he was dodging in the meantime. And he would say like, all right, now that I'm healed, I can actually go out all out. And he's been absorbing all the energy, all the shock, like the shockwaves. He's been absorbing that. And, he releases all of it in one attack. And I'll just say that it's basically kind of like his 1,000,000% smash, but it just like knocks him out. It knocks Muscular out. So yeah, Deku just makes sure that he is fully like he's actually unconscious. Then he makes his way back to the camp. He sees most of them there, except he doesn't see Bakugo. He doesn't see Kota either, and he says like damn it. He says like, damn it, where are they? And he would say, Aizawa Sensei, like, have you seen Bakugo or Kota? And Aizawa would say, no, I haven't. He hasn't come back. And he says, damn it. So he just runs back into the forest. He starts searching for them. Eventually he would run into Muscular. Or not Muscular, Mr. Compress. And yeah, he would run into Mr. Compress, and Mr. Compress would start like toying with Deku. He shows Deku like 2 marbles, which has Kota and Bakugo. And he would say like, oh, you're the actual person that we want. At least we got one of them, and we just got this random kid who was with him. But since you're here, I might as well take you. So, Mr. Compress starts attacking Deku. He starts trying to compress him into the marble. Deku just keeps dodging his attacks. And, Moonfish would appear, and his teeth blades would hit Deku, and Deku would kind of get pierced in like the chest and the arms. And Mr. Compress would say like, Moonfish, you didn't have to injure him that much. And Moonfish would say like, sorry, I got excited. And Mr. Compress would say like, it's alright, let's just take him in. He gets cut off by a punch by Deku. And this would actually break his mask. As he would release the two marbles, Deku would just break him in his arms and in his hand, and he would just see that they're just objects. And Deku said like he must have switched the two marbles that had Kota and Bakugo inside. And muscular, or no, I'm sorry, I keep saying muscular, but Mystic Impress would like be on the ground, and Moonfish would just start like attacking Deku with his teeth blades. Deku like keeps like breaking them and dodging them. Eventually, he would get close and just grab Moonfish by the face and just slam him into the ground, knocking him out. Mr. Compress would get back up, but Deku's right there in front of him. And he would say, where's Bakugo and where's Kota? And Mr. Compress would say, like, you'll have to find them. And he would just grab Mr. Compress by the collar and just start punching him in the face. Eventually, Mr. Compress would cough up the marbles, but Deku didn't realize it until he actually saw them on the ground. And then this is when Dobby would show up. And Dobby would say like, what a shame. A hero couldn't save a few people. And he would walk into a portal, and as he would let go of Mr. Compress, he would get sucked into a portal as well, and Moonfish gets captured. And yeah. So I'm gonna end it off here. I hope you guys liked this part. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. Or no, before I go, I'm gonna make a poll of this, but I just want to ask you guys this question. What do you guys want next week? Do you guys want What If Deku Rented a Girlfriend Part 3? Or What If Deku was in the Purge Part 2? You guys can decide on that. Or yeah, you guys can decide on that. I'll make a poll of it for you guys to like vote on. So yeah. I already said the outro, and I'll just see you guys next time. Bye.